So these last couple weeks have been amazing. I've been all over TV, I've been all over the news. I have over 10 articles that have written about me. I have a lot of well-known people who's reached out to me, and it's been back to back to back to back love, back to back support. And I just wanted to get on here to say thank you and show one of the news clips that I was on who highlighted me as an artist. A big reason that I've been on the news so much is because the platform that I have, over 1 million followers on TikTok, 33,000 subscribers on YouTube, 20-something thousand followers on Instagram, thousands on Facebook, and my life has been making a huge impact and inspiring so many people. And one of the biggest things that the news and the media took notice is that someone in my position has been out on the front lines during the protests, fighting for justice, doing nonviolent protests, and also fighting to keep my city from being burned down. Yes, I am very vigilant when it comes to fighting against racism, and I am very vigilant to make sure I'm fighting for equity for the black people who feel like their voice don't matter. I mean, my situation is a little different because I have the privilege of being an artist and making a living from music, but I also am discriminated against when people don't know who I am. You know what I mean? If I drive to a new city and, you know, the person at the cash register never heard of me before, they might, you know, look at me and be suspicious because, you know, a lot of black people are portrayed on the news and media. So one of the big things I've been doing is advocating just for our rights to be seen as people and to separate us from people who commit crimes and stuff like that. So a lot of people really love what I've been doing, and at the same time I've been protecting my city because I believe in stocks, investment, I believe in building up, I believe in equality, I believe in equity for minorities and the marginalized and oppressed. But at the same time, like, I'm not someone who just wants to fight and target one specific group of people. Right now there's been the ACAB, you know, the ACAB movement, abolish police, and there's also been a lot of people saying black people are terrorists or Black Lives Matter, all this kind of stuff, right? So it's easy to pick a side, but one of the things I've been doing is going in between these different layers and showing that there's more to it, and showing that there are certain cops who get behind the uniform and take a stance against racism, and that not all black people who are protesting are criminals, which should be obvious. But in this climate, a lot of people are jumping to conclusions and pointing fingers at people and hating people just because of a uniform or because of a skin color. So it's more complex, you know. I mean, I get that majority of the people you see on TV might be criminals if they're black. I get that, you know, in certain states like Minneapolis, a lot of the cops might be targeting minorities and actually killing them and have a lot of complaints. But you have to understand that there's so many more dynamics around the world in different states. So that's been one of the things that I've been doing, is exploring these different dynamics and showing different parts of humanity in the black community and in the suburbs, and when it comes to some of the cops that I've built relationships with, like the chief of police in Detroit and the commander and other officers who are on the ground. So and those include the protesters. So here is a clip of one of the news interviews that I did, and I hope you like it.
During challenging times, leaders and innovators emerge. At 15 years old, my next guest knew that he wanted to use his words as a positive outlet to inspire youth around the city of Detroit. Trey Little's story exemplifies a very special result of embracing these two powerful principles. Trey, welcome to Community Connect. Thanks so much for making time for us today.
Thank you for having me here. I am so excited.
It's great to have you. We love following you and seeing what you are doing around town. Your messages are so powerful. Your music is so good. You just have this incredible energy about you. I'm on your Instagram profile. I need to talk about this. I see a few noteworthy things. So the cutest shots of you with your son. I love that you have him in your videos and in your photos. 1 million on TikTok, 32,000 on YouTube, and survived the street wars of Detroit. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so specifically the street wars is just everything. Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, I've been working really hard since, coming out of Detroit. Surviving the street wars for me was having a 15-year-old mom losing my dad when I was 4, but that set me up to know that I was going to have a strong story to share with the rest of the world. So throughout the years of growing up as a teenager, experiencing everything that I experienced in Detroit and working hard, I discovered my music abilities around 9 years old. And I used that as a way to tell my story. So once I started telling this story, it compelled a lot of people on TikTok and on YouTube and all around the world. And a lot of people gravitated towards my story and towards my message. And I built a massive following around telling my story and inspiring other people that if I could make it out of the street wars of Detroit, where all the odds were against me, then you could as well, no matter what you're going through. And a lot of people got inspired by that and started following me.
Yeah, that's a really powerful message. And how cool for you that at 9 years old, you realized that you had this just incredible gift and this talent. That's awesome. So what is your music saying about Detroit?
So my music is talking about the everyday life and the everyday struggle of the people that live here and grow up here. And what I'm doing is telling my story, but a lot of people can relate to it, where it's like, you know, we have a lot of poverty here. We have a lot of the crime rate, and a lot of the odds are against people, you know, when they wake up every day. So my story is basically the story of a lot of Detroiters, of the young teenagers growing up here, the young men and women who are faced with hardship. So what I try to do is just share my story and can relate, you know, to where sometimes it's the grandmothers that have to raise us. Sometimes, you know, we don't have fathers and we have to work hard and hope that there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel with all of our hard work and hustle. But Detroit is known for its hard work and its grind and just being durable, you know what I mean? So like, that's what I want to share. Detroit is meant to be unbreakable. And I think a lot of people love that story and love us for that.
It sure is. And that's such a powerful, powerful message that it seems to be resonating even more so lately. Trey, you have performed for crowds of 30,000 and toured.
So now that you just watched that, you can click the description and the link below to see the full interview. I'm going to do basically a highlight of all the news stations that I've been on, and do like a big montage and stuff like that as well. But I hope this is encouraging to you. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Love y'all. Peace.